Hi, my name is Kim, and I am the creator of the mental health blog Ryan Does Resi. You've probably never heard of it, or maybe you have. It's right up there with Google. But my story is pretty interesting because today I consider myself a really proud mental illness survivor, advocate, supporter, organizer. But it wasn't always the case. And what happened was I hid for a really long time my eating disorder. So I struggled with an eating disorder since I was about 16, 17 years old, and I'm 31 now, so it's been a while. And I was so ashamed. It was just completely not even an option at all to share with anybody, tell anybody. I was confronted a couple times. But I vehemently denied because I was, like I said, just so ashamed, and it was just something so disgusting that I didn't want any part of, especially being an Asian American, where my relatives and my family just didn't understand because, my relatives came from Vietnam where there isn't much food, and they had to fight for all the food they had, but meanwhile, here I am struggling with it. So that was another reason why I just kept it so, it close to myself and inside. And here, like, a not so fun fact about mental illness and eating disorders specifically is that eating disorders have the highest mortality rate out of any other mental illness. And this includes bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and depression combined. So it's not a joke. Eating disorders are very serious, and a lot of people die from them every year. And so I was actually in the hospital last year, very ill. I was pretty much close to dying, and that's when I finally agreed to get help. And like I said, it took me 12 years to finally agree to get help. And honestly, if I wasn't dying in the hospital, I don't even know if I would have gotten that far. But when I did, I'm gonna tell you, the biggest lesson that I learned is that I'm not the only person who goes through this. Because I felt so alone for all of those years. I felt like there was something so wrong with me. I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody because people would judge me and people wouldn't understand, and I just had to keep it inside and just try and pretend to be normal and happy, and meanwhile I was just fooling myself and fooling everyone. And that was the biggest lesson I learned, is that you're not alone. Nobody is alone who goes through this. There's actually a lot of people who understand. And I remember when I first went to treatment, I would tell really personal stories that I wouldn't, I hadn't said to anybody else in my family or even my close friends. And just looking around the table and having people nod and understand was one of the best feelings. Just so taken aback, like, wow, people actually understand. And so I started the blog, the Ryan Does Resi blog, anonymously because I was still very ashamed when I began treatment, but I couldn't find any information about somebody's experience. So that's why I started the blog. And since then I've, come out, I've told people my identity, and everything's changed since then. I've helped a lot of people. I've hosted a lot of events. I've done speaking engagements, and it's become a really big part of my life. And honestly, keeping up with the blog makes me feel like I have a whole army of people on my side rooting for me in recovery. And that actually keeps me accountable as well as motivates others. So I hope you can take this message and, speak up. You're not alone. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You didn't ask for this. And, share with each other. The more we share, the more we normalize it, the more it's okay to talk about. Because even in the past year and a half of my blogging and just being open about it, so many people have reached out to me saying that they've gotten help for their illnesses because I just spoke about it. So to share and support each other. We're all here on this world together. I think, just trying to get through the mean streets of life, and everybody is struggling with something. People may not understand exactly what you're going through, but everybody understands struggle. Everybody knows what it feels like to go through something difficult. And the more we can rely on each other and support each other, the better we will be at getting through it together. Thank you for letting me share my story. I hope this inspires you to speak up and share and support each other. I can be reached pretty much on most social media forums. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and I have the blog, so all of that information is to follow. It's usually just Ryan Does Resi. And again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.